Get down.
Okay, so.
Ni hao.
Oh my goodness, we had
Konnichiwa.
such a good discussion.
I know.
The camera malfunctioned, so we're gonna give it a take two. Hopefully, we leave a lot of knowledge and wisdom
To the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
So part 2, we're gonna offer you some chai. This is Chai and Chat.
halfway done.
By Lydia. Yummy.
Um,
Num num.
So yeah,
Oh wait. And some milk powder.
not sponsored. So.
At all.
So yeah. Hi, it's Lydia.
It's Damsy.
Kamari.
It's Kieran.
Yay, so we're gonna get into it. Talking about mental health as Black people, especially in a PWI campus. We go to UConn, but
Huskies.
yeah. Like as a college student, Black college student, how do you deal with your mental health?
For me personally, mental health coming in at least was something that was pretty much disregarded. I didn't really see it as much of a thing for me personally, because like coming in, I was always this happy, never get down person. Like nothing, I felt like I was untouchable in terms of like my mental space, my mental head, my mental health. So it was virtually nothing coming in until I took some pretty big hits, especially like towards exams and then like relationships, and it was just a bunch of stuff that was affecting me over a period of time, and that's where I was like, mental health is definitely real, and it's something that needs to be taken care of. Now that I understand mental health a bit better, right? One thing that I do is try to identify things in advance, trying to look at, what could shake up my mental health, what could offend me, what could bother me, and try to see like the impact of it, the severity of it, and try to get into that happy space early, like doing what makes me more happy and taking care of that mental health space, because literally without it, no work is being done, no social activities is happening, and I would just wallow in my dorm until the day is over. So being critical about understanding what's ahead, right, and how it will impact me is how I deal with that. And then always being in my happy places and being around people that would make me happy, make me smile, and not, anger me, right? So that's how I think about it.
I'll say for me, kind of like going off, talking about like how I kind of deal with my mental health. I would say I don't really deal with it.
Ooh.
Lydia.
Lydia.
Okay.
Break that generational curse.
Right.
Okay.
Break that
Let
curse.
me say this. I'm still figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still figuring it out, and I feel like this is something I'm going to continually figure out. I don't feel like I'm at a point where I have a grasp on it. One thing I would say is it's because like it feels like muscle memory for me to avoid things. So like that's how I deal with stress. Like I avoid it until they come up again, and then I crash out, and then I'm like, oh my god, I need help. But then at that point it's too late, because like I should have asked for help before. Exactly. So definitely also as a person who's kind of like been socialized to be independent, seeking help is difficult. Partly because I am a Black woman, I am a big sister, coming from an immigrant household type of thing. There's like this expectation where you're like kind of like deal with it or don't even bring it up. So it's kind of like a struggle, honestly, to seek out help. but then also like in seeking out help, I'm very critical in what type of help I'm seeking, because like some part of me feels like nobody understands what like the therapist or whoever might not understand my situation fully, or I feel like a fraud. Like I feel like if I'm telling somebody that I'm struggling, they might think I'm lying, because like if you look at me, you might think that I have it all figured out. So in me opening that side feels like I'm tweaking.
Well, kind of going back to support system, I do want to talk about it. I feel like there is benefit of talking about it, not just keeping it bottled up, to the point where you're gonna crash out or explode, because that's severely unhealthy. So I do find people that I'm really close with to talk about it, and together we could find like healthy coping mechanisms to make sure our mental health is taken care of, whether that be exercising, meditating, or listening to music, jogging, just everything along the lines of that, to just make sure that I'm taking care of that part of the body as well. And the sad thing about it is, when it comes to mental, it's not even looked at as the same as if if you has like a physical injury, like if I reach out to my manager or like a professor and saying I'm not really feeling mentally well, it will look not the same as I broke my fingers, and that's the thing that kind of sucks, because it's like mental health, if not dealt with properly and at a timely rate, it can, cause you to suffer, whether that be like reaching out to unhealthy coping mechanisms like drugs and alcohol, or even worse, like suicidal ideations. And then once you're at that state, it's really hard to recover, and build yourself back up at that point. And that's something that I've been dealing with a lot lately, like especially with my experience with the professors here. They're not really accommodating for that, because it's like what happens for me in the moment, something could happen and cause me to feel some type of way. I tell a teacher, but then they're reaching back out to me, be like, oh, you should have told me earlier. But it's like, earlier I wasn't feeling that way, now right before class this thing just happened, I'm feeling not like myself. And I'm telling you, I'm trying to make the effort to reach out, accommodating, or it's so worse that it wasn't even on my mind to reach out to make up work, to miss my 4-hour day today, because I was so engulfed in that moment. But yet, even so, it's not enough.
Like, taking care of my mental health is also something that I'm learning to do. I feel like growing up, I was always the type to be like, the life of the party, the one that's like always laughing, always smiling and stuff. And whenever, even like now, like whenever something is a little bit off with me, like I kind of shut down, and it is very obvious when you are that person. So everyone kind of like looks at me and is like, oh, there's something wrong. But the thing is, I was never taught how to deal with like when you feel down in a healthy way. So it went from me trying to pretend like I was okay in spaces where I was not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a very dangerous thing, because I would go around my friends and go about my day, like everything is alright, and just continue doing it to the point where even in this time when I was alone, when it would be my time to cry, be my time to like have to myself to release those emotions, I would not do it anymore, because I'd be like, well, there's always something better out there. There's always like something worse that you could have been, you know. So it's like I felt like everybody was depending on me to be that person, and I didn't know how to like, you know, be that person for myself. But also another thing that I realized was that being that person who brings a lot of the energy, it also builds up your pride. So I'm usually the person who comforts, and it's very hard for me to receive comfort. So it creates hyper independence, and it also creates a barrier when it comes to me asking for things or asking for help. It's like it's genuinely a hard thing for me to do because I'm usually the one to give help, right? I enjoy giving things or doing things for other people, but when people do it for me, it's kind of hard to accept. And I have to keep on learn, like like it's something God keeps on showing me, that I have to be more receptive to that, because in friendships, in relationships, like it's not a one-way street, and it's like me trying to, like, asking God to help me with my pride so that I can allow people to help me, because at the end of the day, like, you can give until your cup is empty, and when your cup is empty, you can't pour anything from it. So if I'm continuing to give, it's like I'm gonna be drained, like, regardless. And it's like me now realizing that, Damsey, like, you can accept help. It is okay for somebody to care about you. It is okay to accept love. It is okay to allow a person to step in and provide for you, because like it's very, like, even when we're talking about like race and culture, like in my culture, it is very like a powerful thing to be independent, right? So it's like I was raised by a single mom. I saw her being independent, right? And for the most part, she tried her best to not cry in front of me. So it's like, I'm like, okay, I can't cry in front of people. When I tell you, it's not a thing where I think that people would judge me. It's just that I feel so weird. Like, many of my friends have never seen me cry, even in times when I'm experiencing excruciating pain. Like, they've never seen me cry. And it's because I will get up, go to the bathroom, cry, wipe my tears, and come back out, right? And I remember, I think I was even at the doctor, and the doctor was like, you know, this is very painful, like, how are you not, like, and I was like, just give me a second, go turn around, cry, and come back, like, it's, and now I'm like, but when my friends cry, I'm like, no, like, it's okay, let it out, like, I'm just like, so why can't I take my own advice? And it's something that I continue to learn, like, more about, and I'm very grateful to God that He keeps on showing me these things, because it is unhealthy. It is unhealthy. And I remember, like, last semester was very rough for me, because it was like me keep on like pretending like I was okay when I was not. So just like acknowledging that and just allowing God to come into that space, come into my mind, and just even allowing myself, whether it be like with God or whether it be like now, like if I'm at church, like I'ma just bawl, because it helps. Like, crying helps.
It does.
It helps a lot.
It does.
It busts. And now, like, I'm not as afraid to, like, I remember I was talking to my mom, I was like, yeah, you know, like, please pray for my mental health. I would never expect in all my life to ask my mom about, like, mental health, but that just shows, like, progress that I've made, but there's still a lot of work to be done, and I'm just very grateful that it's not, like, the same, you know?
Yeah.
And Kira was talking about intersectionality, and I feel like it's such an interesting concept lens to apply to mental health, because it does expose how, like, structurally we are like affected by systems. Like we're not just like individual beings in society, but like we are a reflection of society and all the oppressions and privileges that exist. And it's like, why can't I just be an individual? You know, why do I have to be a product of all these systems intersecting?
Literally.
You know,
Yes.
Phoebe would pull out the belt, you know.
And wrap it up in
gender, race,
Yes,
you know,
class, age, religion.
you
For
know?
me,
And it's
color.
and it's like Black people are experiences with mental health are
exaggerated.
I thought it was exasperated.
exasperated
Yes.
because of these social identities. Because like historically, when you look at like, if you pick a Black woman, like being a woman is an oppressed identity in the U.S. and being Black is also an oppressed identity. And then you can add other layers, as in like if you're from a low income neighborhood, you're gonna face a certain level of oppression. If you're like have less education, that's also another form of oppression you're gonna face. And it's like, because of all those things, you kind of feel a sense
Take the glasses off, come on.
you kind of feel, you know, one thing that I've noticed is like Black people, we use laughing as a coping mechanism. Like,
yes.
We don't
bad. So bad.
Yo, we will laugh at our issues instead of dealing with it and think we're okay, but we're really not.
We're not.
But
like a reflex.
yeah. But talking about intersectionality again, and it's like, oh my god, I lost my train of thought. But because of that, it feeds into like imposter syndrome, where it's like we are thought by society that we don't belong, that we don't deserve all the good things, and because of that, we kind of strive. We're always like trying to prove the systems and ourselves, like what we hear wrong, and that alone brings its own stress. And then we experience imposter syndrome, because then like we work, and we get into spaces that we were told like we never had access to, and it's like, bro, I feel like an imposter. I feel like an imposter because I was not supposed to be here. Like, I should not have a seat at this table, but here I am having a seat at a table. Here I am in college in a PWI, and I feel like I should not belong here because like society tells me that I do not have a place here. And then all of a sudden you start to downplay all your hard work. You start to downplay your experiences because of what society is telling you. And then you feel more stressed. And then your mental health declines, and it's like it's a never-ending cycle.
Right.
It's a
Mental health.
Great.
Take them glasses off, Kamari.
Yeah.
Mental health.
Right.
Cook up.
Let it come.
Come Solomon.
Yeah, all of us.
Let's relax. Let the glasses down. They're serving you.
You see, typical example, Black men deflecting when it comes to
That's insane.
I'm catching the strangers like that.
Not deflection, man.
Oh.
Lock in, twin.
The scary thing with mental health is that a lot of people can't see it. And the way how I think of it as like one of those like cancers that aren't detectable until they form into a very, very like big tumor, and it's a late stage. By this time, it's already spread to multiple organs, right?
That's right.
And it's like with mental health too, because it's already engraved in society, like it's a societal norm to not care about it, even though it is health. It is your physical body, your brain. It makes it hard to go and like talk about it, because if we were supposed to get a cut on our finger, right? Put a band-aid on it, put some this before it get infected, right? If you have a stomach ache, they're like, oh no, you know, rest and do this and do that. But tell somebody, oh, your mental health is they're gonna be like,
mental health?
mental health?
What is that?
What is that?
What do you mean?
Oh,
Deal with it.
I'm sorry that you're experiencing this.
Right.
Wow.
So how are you gonna help me?
It's hard. I know it's hard, and it's like, yeah,
Like,
But you gotta get through it. You
Right.
gotta get through it, hon.
you gotta get, and it's crazy because like it's just so normalized, and it's also so normalized to the point where sometimes we don't even realize how serious it is. And it's scary because this generation, like a lot of the issues that we've experienced in the world is because of people who have not taken care of their mental health. And it's like, how do you entrust somebody, like how do we go about our daily lives entrusting ourselves or entrusting others to take care of us, or to take care of our kids, to take care of our school, to take care of our country, if your mental health is not okay, you know? Like, I don't think I've ever heard like on I guess like a TV broadcast, like if you think about like people who are in like parliament, or if like supposedly like there was a quick king and queen, you know, they'd be like, oh yeah, like we ensure that they do their regular checkups, and they go and they get tested and they do this, like even in our, like even for us, like the minute we turn 25 or whatever, they're like, go get a pap smear, go get your mammograms, go do this. No one ever said go get a psychiatric like evaluation. Like nobody's saying that, because like it seemed bizarre, and it's odd for a lot of people. No one's like, oh, go get a therapist. Like, and if somebody says get a therapist, you're like, do you think I'm going crazy? Like,
Yeah.
it's so stigmatized when it should not be, because it is health, just like every other like issue that we deal with when it comes to our bodies.
If you don't have insurance, even though the Dean of Students does offer like first student fund where you can use to seek therapy and stuff like that, like diagnosis for like ADHD and all those things, they cost money.
They do.
And it's like, if your insurance can cover that, you're like, okay, I know something is wrong with me, but then because you can't get a diagnosis, CSD wouldn't give you accommodation, so then you just have to live with whatever it is. But then on the other hand, they're telling you, make sure you utilize all the resources and all of this, but then it's like, they don't mention that the resources are there, but they're expensive and you might not be able to afford it. And I feel like there's a lot of students on campus who struggle with their mental health, want to seek for help, have probably sought for help, but didn't fully pull through or go through the entire process because of cost. And it's like, again, you're meant to figure it out, and it's like college students have a lot of other financial, needs, and it's like, do I want to take on this extra cost? Maybe not. Maybe I would.
For whoever is watching this out there, please let this be an invitation to really check on those people that are in your circle. Check on those people that you have not heard from. Check on the people who even present themselves as the most happiest individuals in the world. Because what we're trying to really reiterate here and emphasize is that mental health is real, is valid, and is important, Because I know, like, especially Like in the times when my mental health was really suffering the most, I would have loved if a person just checked up on me.
Right.
Just even force me to be like, we're going out now. We're going out to eat right now. You know, we're going to watch this TV show right now. You know, and it's, you don't have to do nothing crazy. It's just like the presence, the quality of time. You know, just really just distracting, really engulfing you. So that way you could really just make yourself feel better, because at the end of the day, you know, it's important. Like, it's important to take care of yourself. It's not a crime. It shouldn't be crazy to take care of your mental. I would get that, and that's something I would never grasp. Like, why is that such a crazy concept? Like, oh, like, I want to take care of my mental health. Why? What do you mean, why?
Because,
you feel me? Like, oh, why would I talk about your emotions? What do you mean, why? Like, why is it like a rebuttal, you know, to everything when it comes to making my overall well-being, you know, at the place that it should be, you know?
I think one thing I'll add on to that is like finding a community and leaning on your community. I know for us personally, like having like a Christ-centered group that we can lean on, it has been helpful for me at least. And recognizing that you have the power to create community, especially given that like as Black people, we historically had communities that don't want to talk about mental health, or probably want to talk about mental health but are struggling to do so because of like the stigma. So like you taking the initiative to kind of like create that community, and all it takes is like talking with one other person, and you would find that you have a common ground and you can lean on each other. Like, we pray together, we go to each other when we're struggling and seek counsel, but that didn't start from day one. We kind of had to like test the waters, like try it out one time, and getting positive feedback was very encouraging, because it's like, oh my god, this was very helpful, I can do it again. And when the other person needed somebody to lean on, I'm like, when I needed somebody to lean on, she was there. I can be there for her, and I understand that it took a lot for her to come to me, and it took a lot of trust for us to get to this point where, like, at this point, at least for four of us here, it's easy for us to kind of like, yo, today has been a day, like, you know, and then talking about it and being like, I understand you, I hear you, what can we do to move forward? Like, how can I be of help? Being that source of encouragement. And I think something that Kieran also mentioned is like checking up on people, the people who you obviously see that you're kind of like out of touch, but then the ones who always look happy. Because I am that type of person. I would be going through it and I'm very smiley. You would think I have it all together, but I'm probably like one thing away from, you know? So like the bubbly person, check in on them. Just, you good?
Yeah, it's really all it takes.
You good?
Like, it don't have to be nothing sophisticated, you know?
Well, it was nice having y'all's perspective on this topic. I really hope that, like, especially a college student or a parent out there, like, sees the value in this perspectives that have been shared today. Try and chat. Same time next week, try and chat.
Okay.
Bye, Kiwa. We're cutting him off.
That's affecting my mental health.
Good.
Bye, y'all.
See you later.